Hello, Jimvitational fans. Back again. It is Callus Narrates. I'll just get it out of the way. I've got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Callus Narrates, link in the description. Yeah, happy? Let's get to the action. We've got round 5 action, which is lower bracket only. So this is an elimination match. It is pkLeech, who I know has been here before because I built the 2 teams that beat him when he was here before. That was back in CI6 when he played against Jabba. He did get eliminated, but it was still a good run. CyberOdin, I don't think, has been here before. He's obviously been deep in tournaments before, but as far as this specific tournament, Callus Invitational, or for all intents and purposes, this being the successor of Callus Invitational, Odin, while he's had tough opponents and put up a pretty damn good fight in a lot of the matches that he's played, does have a losing record in this tournament overall coming into this, and this is definitely the deepest run from him after a couple of O2s in the past. So cool matchup here. Odin definitely a veteran, a little bit of an erratic player. Leech a little bit more slow, steady, deliberate, a little bit more narrow with his preferences. Back in the day, Odin was also pretty narrow with his preferences, played a lot of like T-Tar Cloyster mixed Zapdos offense. That was kind of his bread and butter. But to his credit, in recent years, he has diversified and is much less predictable and exploitable in the builder than he once was. So, we are going international here with Italy versus the Dominican Republic. Like I said, it's an elimination match, so strap in. One of these guys going home. Here is game 1 in their best of 3. Leech is going to be on the bottom with immense lead. Odin's on the top with immense lead. Intimidate and Intimidate. Neither one comfortable with it. They both switch, but it's not the same switch. Skarmory and Milotic respectively. Surf is not that exciting there. I'd much rather be the one who clicks spikes, so small advantage for Leech in the early going. Zapdos also gets surfed, discovers that the Lax is immunity rather than thick fat, but is going to stay in and T-bolt it anyway, but Lax is going to be ultra bulky in what is currently a sandless game, and surely Leech cannot and will not stay in, and indeed, Skarmory reappears, but all signs from Odin's end point to a team that probably has a Magneton in the back, given what we've seen so far. Leech, luckily, does not roar out the Magneton. That would have really stunk, but I'm pretty confident it's there, based on what's been shown. So Leech with like a, I mean, it looks stally, actually, but maybe it's a balance at best. Whereas we're looking at a physical or a mixed offense, I think. Or I guess maybe, again, a balance from Odin. But I'm very confident there's going to be a Magneton there. There's got to be. And Roar, man, Roar refuses to show us anything new. We've only seen half the team despite multiple Roars for CyberOdin. Wonder if it's Magdoll. Certainly Mag. And he's certainly playing like a man who doesn't care about the spikes, so maybe he does have a spinner in the back. Maybe it's like Magdoll or Mag Starmie, I guess. Probably not. But 2 layers are down. Recover gets off from Milo. Not surprising. Sandless game, so this might be a grind here. Things like Lax and Blissey are going to be extra difficult to kill, especially if these are, in fact, 2 slower, fatter, more balancy teams. Unsurprising there's a spinner, like I said, was playing like a dude who had no urgency to deal with the spikes. Pretty big punishment to rapid spin, though. He took 2 ice beams, and he's down to just 20%. And I stand by, there we go, that the last poke is going to be Mag. So we're looking at a Magdoll here, but we've got Mag on Mag violence, and they exchange hidden power fires. Neither one takes it well, obviously, but crucially, one of them's still standing and one of them's not. The weird thing, though, about the state of this game is that even though that Magdoll is super duper designed from the ground up to counter teams like this, it actually might be Leech and his Skarmory that wins out, because the Magneton is at just 3%, will die if it comes into spikes, and the Claydol's really banged up from earlier also at just 20%, so it's super duper possible that both of those Mons go down, and the Skarmory for Leech remains. That being said, technically, Leech is losing right now by a count of 6-5. Still haven't seen the last poke for Leech. One thing that I don't like about Leech's matchup is that the Mence is just going to absolutely go nowhere against the Milotic. And yeah, it's now confirmed, as if we didn't already know, it is going to be a completely sandless game. Last poke Swampert for Leech. This one may end up being a grind, and I worry for Leech's sake that if he doesn't get down and keep down a spike or multiple spikes, that he might have a hard time killing stuff. His team seems pretty passive, pretty reactive, kind of lacking proper win cons. So we'll see if he can in fact get the spikes to stay. In the meantime, hidden power there. Hey, that's one way to do it. That was a pretty big hidden power. So if Odin does that another time or two, we'll be in business. Wish floating, and there's Curse. Mind games here. Passing it to Mence. Does Odin try to catch him? He gets him with Body Slam, and only because of Intimidate does the Mence survive, but it largely negated the Wish there. Just a small net positive for the Mence on that turn. And now a spike gets down, so Magneton cannot come in safely as it stands unless the Claydol gets a spin-off, and this Roar could actually kill the Magneton, and it does. So that was the perfect Roar target for Leech. One of the key mons that he wants down is down. Now he's just got to deal with the other. Attack raise there, obnoxious, but it doesn't matter when he gets roared immediately. However, here is the doll, and it's gonna boom, so yeah, Odin's goal in life is to get rid of Skarmory. He manages to do so, but it costs him not just the mag or the doll, but in fact both of them in order to get to that point. And there's a spike down that he can't remove, which is not the way it's supposed to be when you're the mag doll player, but here we are. So, we've got ourselves a 4v4 sandless game. The Milotic is gonna be a bitch. The Zapdos is going to have to do work, and it's got to be really careful about turns like that. Had that been a crit or a freeze, I think Leech would more or less lose the game on the spot. So he's got to be really, really careful to not get his Zapdos killed by anything, but certainly by an Ice Beam that he now knows is there. Body Slam happens, but he avoids Para. Okay. Zapdos down. Am I missing something? Or I think the Milo is a huge problem now. Regardless of what we're seeing on the board, I don't know how you beat Milotic now if you're Leech after letting the Zapdos go. I mean, I think he has a problem with the Lax as well once the Skarm goes down, so I get why he kept the Zapdos in, but I think Leech is in trouble. Curse Pert, not going to beat Milotic super duper reliably. Maybe if he crits Earthquake or something, but generally Milotic wins out in this matchup, and that's to say nothing of the fact that he can bring in Mence and get an Intimidate off as needed. Leech obviously hasn't shown it, but he must have rest in order to sit there and not care about all this toxic damage. And there you go, it is rest, but I don't know that that really gets him out of it. Here comes Meta, and he's just going to boom on it, so I guess he respects the Curse Pert, but Crisis pretty much averted because Swampert will not survive another Surf here. And the Mence isn't going to really help anything because we already know that the Milo has Ice Beam. And the Milo, of course, is faster because the Mence is paralyzed. I don't think Leech can win. And that's got to be frustrating because I don't know that he did anything blatantly wrong in this game. But I just don't think he can break the Milo. And the dominoes are going to start to fall as well. He's going to try to freeze it, which is like the only way. But he can't keep the Blissey in because of the Toxic. And then he has to switch something else in that will either take a ton or die, depending on the attack. Had that been Ice Beam, the Mence would go down. Fair enough, back to Bliss, but nothing preventing another Toxic. Yeah, man, not trying to be doom and gloom. Love pkLeech. Cutie, nice guy, all that good stuff, but I just don't think he can break the Milo. I'm not seeing it. Happy to be wrong. I'm wrong many times a day. But this might be one time today where I'm right. Swampert in. Maybe if he can build up the Swampert, certainly passing Wish to it is a good starting point. yeah, hey, curse pissing contest, and then you being the one who gets the crit might be a way out. I don't think Odin should have allowed this sequence. I think that it should have been Milo immediately into Swampert, but yeah, I think this is going to give Leech a way back into this game. I don't love this line for Odin at all. All that has to happen now is once they have a bazillion curses each, Leech just crits them with Earthquake, and there you go. We're in business. Curse Lax is the winner. I don't like it. I think Odin has given Leech a chance that he should not have, but Leech is going to take these odds for sure. Gives him a shot to be right back in this game. Absolutely. And he's got more curses at the moment. That is the 6th and final curse for Swampert. 4 of them on the other side. Body Slam just 19%. And Earthquake a hell of a lot more at 44%. Body Slam again 19% with no para. And Earthquake with 43%. Body Slam again 19%. This time it does find para. See how that changes the dynamic. Body Slam again. And a full para. Wah, wah, wah. Well, best effort by Leech there. Odin gave him a window that I don't think he should have given him, but I believe that is going to pretty much wrap us up. Yeah, no way out of it from that point. When you get into a curse pissing contest and you lose, you'll lose the game soon after. That is the way we roll, and it is going to be a Game 1 victory for Hermano de Blissi. Odin, being from the Dominican, is a native Spanish speaker. I'm an ignorant American, so I don't speak anything other than English. My wife is smart. She speaks 4 languages, but I'm not. So if someone wants to tell me what Hermano de Blissi means, that'd be cool. Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, as we head off to Game 2, want to remind you guys that it's very important, if you guys enjoy these tours, to donate when you're able to. We're not rich. Everything's expensive right now. I got it. Not asking you to donate bazillions. Anything helps. $5, $10. It really does make a difference. That's how you build a prize pool. Believe me, I've hosted this tour 7 times. A lot of time and effort goes into it. So if you've got the means, please consider donating and supporting Jim and the crew. They work really hard via PayPal donation link, also in the description of the video. So back to the action here. It is Leech and Odin again. Leech must win this game and a 3rd game, or he will be eliminated. And for CyberOdin, he's got 2 opportunities to advance to round 6, which is definitely by far the deepest run that he's ever had in this tournament. Can he do it, or can Leech make the comeback? Let's find out. Leech is on the bottom again. Got Immense, just like last game. This time, Odin switching it up. Zapdos is going to Baton Pass out, and he's going to take the Intimidate with him, which may matter. Swampert is going to eat an Earthquake, and it's going to go for Ice Beam into Immense, understandably, but it's going to bounce off Bliss. Here comes T-Tar, so thankfully we are not playing a Sandless game this time. I mean, I guess we could be like a Kingdra or something in the back. That changes the weather, but for now, we've got Sand. Focus Punch coming down, 40% on Swampert, and now Celebi appears. Celebi appears on both players' sides, in fact. See what they do. We see Mence coming in. And again, that Baton Pass actually took the Intimidate with it. But we already know that the Swampert, as most of them do, has Ice Beam. So, Leech is going to get out of the way. We end up with B on B yet again. Not clear if either one has HP Fire. Now we are clear. That's a pretty underwhelming HP Fire, though. And in comes Dugtrio, we better have Giga Drain as well. 97%. Holy adamant, Batman. And unfortunately, the Giga Drain, while it does an F-ton, is going to come up short. And that is a dead Celebi. Advantage CyberOdin. Double Edge there is a ton as well. Zapdos doesn't like that. However, the problem is, even if the Metagross were to successfully finish off the Zapdos, we already know there's a Dugtrio in the back to pick it off with the revenge kill. Rock Slide there with a crit, little bit annoying, not a huge deal, but every little bit of damage really adds up, especially when you're already behind. Odin, I do think, has a slight advantage in the current game state, and they both have an unrevealed in the back as well. Bliss on Pert, fair enough. A little bit of lefties back for Swampert, why not? And Celebi switches into counter. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Leech Seed Ice Beam, fair enough. Celebi going to appreciate mooching off that big fat HP pool of Bliss. And knowing there would be a switch, goes for Leech Seed again. So now going to start sucking off the Swampert in a completely Pokemon appropriate way, you dirty boys. Now, here comes T-Tar into Blissey. Earthquake, 39%. Seismic Toss, 25%. Meta reappears, and that does in fact resist. Rock Slide, who knew? But like I said, the problem with killing the Zapdos here, which he successfully does, is that he's gonna get eaten by the Dugtrio via revenge kill, so it's basically just a trade, and Odin will maintain his lead, now 5-4. Swampert comes in, it's a physical Mence on the other side, so Swampert is going to be a reliable check. And here comes Bliss. Ice Beam there, just 17%, even with a crit. Soft Boiled almost certainly about to happen. No, he goes for Seismic Toss. Man, I think that Leech just kind of out-leveled himself there. He, I think, went for Seismic Toss to check for Focus Punch and to block Focus Punch. I get why he did that. The problem is exactly what happened. If the opponent doesn't have Focus Punch and he just does the obvious thing and clicks Earthquake, you'll lose the Bliss when you didn't have to. So that was a tragic decision for Leech, and it's ugly. I figured the last poke would be Mag. I meant to say that, but didn't find an opportunity. But that doesn't really help him here. Doesn't seem like Odin has a Skarm, and again, same problem here. If you kill the Celebi, wonderful, but you know there's a Dugtrio on the other side, so it's the same issue. Rock Slide. Okay. I don't know about that decision, but gets the flinch, so I guess it'll work out. Here comes T-Tar. And Leech, 2 games in a row, has opted for Magneton plus Curse Pert. Not sure if he's just having a little trend right now, that's his flavor of the month thing in the builder, or if he specifically thinks that that's good against Odin for whatever reason, but Curse Pert is a pretty uncommon poke, a pretty uncommon set, so you do not often see a player bring it twice in the same set, but here we are, that's what Leech has done. Hydro Pump has connected twice, Hydro Pump has connected 3 times. Can we get a 4th? Sure can. Why does anyone use Surf? Hydro Pump's so much better when it always hits. And down goes Swampert, and I believe, unfortunately, Leech is in some trouble here. Ice Beam will do it, but even if not, there's the Swampert in the back that the Mence is going to have an issue with. But it was clearly an off-star, given the structure of the team and given the Hydro Pump. So, it is going to be an Ice Beam, a dead Mence, and a 2-0 CyberOdin victory. Hats off for Leech. I know that he really cares and tries really hard, and I'm sure he's frustrated with this loss. He had another deep and respectable run, but I mean, round 5 is good and all, but I know him, and I know how he thinks, and I know how badly he wants to win. So even though this is a solid run, I know that he's going to be disappointed and wish that he had gone further. Give him the respect that he deserves. A high finish, a good player, and has been putting up results more and more consistently as the years have rolled on. That being said, hats off as well to CyberOdin, having by far his best run in this tournament. How deep can this man go? He'll be in at least round 6, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Like I said, youtube.com/CallusNarrates for my content. For this content right here, hit that like button. Consider subscribing to Revival Tours. Consider donating and supporting these guys. And I guess that's it. Like I said, don't know how many more of these I'm going to get invited to do. There's fewer and fewer matches as the tournament rolls on, but hopefully I'll be back for at least one more, and if so, I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching.